All right, fam, let's dive into things. Welcome to another edition of Webinar Wednesday. If this is your first time joining us, and I do see a lot of new names and faces out there, welcome. I'm Jason there on the left, and we are always lucky to be joined by David Rockland, the digital strategist, and so much more here at Brilliant Directories. David, thank you for joining us this webinar.
Hey, everybody. So glad to be back with you for another Webinar Wednesday. Thanks for joining us on Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Really excited to dive into today's updates, especially one in particular, a brand new add-on.
Yeah, we got a fun, exciting new add-on, and yes, indeed, happy Valentine's Day to those of you out there. And those of you who are joining us on YouTube, welcome. We are streaming live on YouTube. The benefit of that is the replay of the webinar will be immediately available afterwards. We'll post it in the Facebook group. And we also invite you to join and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can go to brilliantdirectories.com/YouTube. You can take a moment and do that right now. It's a great way to get updated as soon as the webinar replays are available, new tutorials, the tips of the week, and more. And also with the Facebook group, if you're not part of that, we do invite you to join. All are welcome. It's a great way to ask questions about your own website, strategies other people are implementing, seeing what other people are doing, and get feedback. I'm in there myself. It's a really positive and active group, so we invite everyone to join. You can ask technical questions, marketing questions, growth strategies, pretty much anything about your site. Some people share workarounds, feature suggestions, things like that in there. So we certainly invite everyone to join, and you can go to brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook and click on that blue join button. And I do see a lot of familiar names and a lot of new names out there. So for those of you joining for the first time, welcome. Just a little bit about Webinar Wednesday. We're very active here at Brilliant Directories, pushing new features and updates week after week. Thank you to you guys, the community. A lot of the suggestions come from your feedback and the ideas that you share with us through support tickets in the Facebook group and other channels. So the Webinar Wednesdays are really a good way for us to share some of the newer updates where that can actually help you grow your community, where you can take actionable steps to accelerate your growth. And we cover things on topics such as increasing your traffic, converting visitors into paying members or free members, identifying revenue opportunities. One of my favorite, and I always mention it, is improving the navigation and flow of your website through design and good aesthetics. So if you have questions on any of these topics or anything else about your membership or directory website, please save them. We should have plenty of time towards the end of the webinar for a good quality Q&A session. And speaking of updates, we have a good list of BD Lab updates to share with you guys today. As David mentioned, and we've mentioned this in previous webinars, there is a new add-on available now. It is the Block Traffic by Country add-on. If you have the VIP Add-ons Club, this is automatically added to your site. It's disabled by default. You can enable it if you choose it. We will cover it as the tip of the week today, just to show you guys some of the use cases, the settings available, and what you can do with it. Next one on the list here is the private chat messages. As you know, not too long ago, we created this setting so you can access millions of stock photos in your text editor. So if you're creating a blog post, you don't have to search the internet to go fetch an image to accompany it. Now with the private member chat add-on, you can enable stock photos. So as your members are chatting with each other, they can share photos with each other. And the fun part about this is there is access to the Giphy library, so you can have those animated memes, similar to what you have on your cell phone or on WhatsApp and Facebook. You can now provide that to your members when they're chatting with each other. Let me show you how you can enable that. So this one is tied to an add-on. Let me show you which one first. The stock photo library. This allows you to have stock photos on the front end of your website for posts and things like that. We have extended this to be supported for the private member chat. So I'm going to share this here. And I'll show you how you can enable this if you are using the private member chat tools on your site. Give me one moment here. Let me get to that section. Perfect. So if you come to your advanced settings and search for just the work stock should do it. So when you have the add-on, you have the enable stock photo libraries. You can choose the different text editors you want to enable this on, but now there'll be a new checkbox here to enable it for the private member chat messages. I think this is great to just have for everyone. It just encourages your members to create more content, user-generated content more easily on your website throughout. It'll make your site more decorated with high imagery and things like that. But now you can enable this. And of course, one of the perks that I like most about this is they'll be able to use Giphy so they can send funny things to each other if they're going back and forth and want to share some things like that. Okay, this next one here is related to language. Over the last few years, we've gained a lot of users internationally, and some are using right to left language, such as Arabic, Hebrew, and some other languages. I think Chinese, maybe I could be right or wrong about that, but now the email templates will respect the right to left language format as well. Before it was still using the left to right in those cases. So whatever the website's language configuration is for left to right or right to left, the email templates will now support that as well. This next one here is related to member reviews and the overall rating. Up until now, the overall rating would go in increments of 0.5. So you can be 1 or 1.5 stars or 4 and 4.5 stars. Now the overall rating will round to the nearest single decimal. So you'll see overall ratings such as 4.2, 4.3, more accurate depictions of what the exact overall rating is. It will stop at a single decimal, so you won't see like 4.125 or something like that, but you will see more accurate like 4.1, 4.4, and things like that. This last one here is a quality of life, and if you use white text on your site, you may have had this issue. The text editors, when you're actually creating the content on your site, and we can go there together, they always have a white background. So if you wanted to have white text, you actually couldn't visually see the text in the text editor. So for example, let's go here and start typing in text. So I'll just say my name is Jason. So we can see here the background of the text editor is white and the text is black. I can make the text red and we see red, but when we make the text white, we wouldn't see it. Now what we've done is, and it's only in the text editor, it's not going to be on the front end of the site. The front end of the site, the text will be white. However, when you set it to white, it's going to have a light gray background, just so you, as while you're working on in the editor, will be able to actually make out the text and see that it is there. So if you're seeing gray behind white text, just know that it's only going to be in the editor. There won't be any gray background on the front end of your site. On the front end of your site, it will be the white text. So this was just a quality of life thing, so you can see the contrast of the white text in the text editors. And we do have a few features that are coming soon. Some of these are security related to help you address spam and moderate your sites better. The first one is to block disposable email addresses. A lot of people sign up to sites with not their real or authentic email addresses. There are a lot of services that provide disposable email addresses. So we'll be keeping an updated list, and you can choose to enable this if you like, and it will just ensure that people are signing up to your site with their real email addresses. The next one here is mainly for moderation. You'll be able to search for duplicate values that your members share. So if you want to see which members have the same email addresses, phone numbers, website addresses, things of that nature, and you want to kind of moderate or weed out duplicates or just identify which are duplicates for other reasons, you'll be able to do this soon. And then also related to kind of moderation, you'll be able to search your members based on the IP country that they join. So currently we show you the IP of members. We're going to pin that IP address. We're going to geolocate it to a country. So then you can see really where not just the address your members have entered for their business, but where they're actually interacting with your site from. This will allow you to kind of maybe identify nefarious activity on your site from unwanted signups. If you're noticing trends of signups from external countries, but it doesn't really represent the business that signed up to your site or the member and so on. So again, better moderation there. This is going to be a huge update, and we're working tirelessly on this, the newsletter update system. We're working on new features, including scheduling newsletters for the future, excluding certain smart lists, so you can send to certain smart lists and exclude other recipients, and then segmenting and seeing better statistics after the email sends, opens, clicks, and being able to create smart lists from those statistics. We are on the cusp of releasing that. It is a big update in the platform. We're going to do a bit more thorough QA, quality assurance, before it goes live into the production mode, but we are hoping to have something released either by the end of February or at the beginning of March is our target objective for that release date on that. And after it's released, we'll probably do some minor tweaks on it just to really fine tune it once it's released into the wild. Also here, we have one more stock photo library that we'll be adding to the list. Currently, you can access millions of photos through Pexels, Pixabay, and the Giphy library. We're going to be adding one more Unsplash, which is actually the supreme free stock photo library that we're going to gain access to, and that's going to increase the library that BD users have access to about 10 million plus images. So really excited about that one. And lastly, we mentioned this in the previous webinar, we got a lot of good feedback on it. The ability for BD users to have access to business records and then choose to add those listings to their site with one click. It will be throttled, there'll be limits and things like that. We're trying to negotiate the best rates for the data from several data companies right now. After that process is complete, we're going to have the interface inside of the admin area where BD users can search for businesses based on location and category. So if you want to find chiropractors in Texas, you'll be able to see there's a list, let's say 8,000 results are found, and then based on the limits that you have, you can import a portion of that to your site, so you can populate your site and it'll look seasoned, established, and more. So we're excited about that one. Things are moving a little slower than we want to on that, but we're going to push for, I think realistic would be a March, April release for that. So it might be a little premature to mention it in this webinar, but it is in the works and it is on the roadmap. And I think it's going to be a game changer, especially for people who are spinning out lots of BD sites and want to target industries quickly. Between the stock photos and the access to the business records, it should allow you to spin out sites a lot quicker. So these are the lab updates. Before we move on to the tip of the week, if you have comments or questions about either the new updates that were released or what's coming soon, use the raise your hand feature. We could take a comment or two. I see Colette has her hand up here.
There you go. Hi, how are you?
Excellent. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Jason, I wanted to follow up on the reviews option for posts. Is that in the pipeline?
It is released, being able to leave reviews for posts. Let me show you what you can do. There is an add-on called Star Ratings for Posts. Excuse me, this is the wrong one. Let me do posts. One moment. Here it is, Star Ratings for Posts. I'll put this in the chat. And there's a video on it, Colette. And what this allows you to do is leave reviews for posts. So if someone posts an event, and then people can leave comments and rate it 1 through 5 and so on. So effectively it does. So this would work for that use case.
Thank you. I must have missed that update. Thanks for that.
You're very welcome. Thank you for the question. All right, good stuff there. We got Brad's hand up here. How you doing, Brad?
Good. How are you doing?
Very good. Thank you very much.
Okay, for the disposable email thing that you're talking about, I believe I haven't been able to be on the webinars as much recently, but did you mention something else, that you had something that was going to check for like invalid emails as well?
When you send your newsletters with the newsletter update, it's going to show you a list of invalid emails that are on your smart lists. So there is going to be that, and it's going to show you the reason why it's an invalid email as well. It might be limited in the beginning with the error messages. It might just say like incorrect format and things like that, but that will be one method. Like if you want to run, like if you have a list of like 50,000 emails and you want to like do the email checker, I think there's dedicated tools for that. Is that what you're referring to mainly?
I mean, I see how that would help other people. We use a different email program as opposed to the BD one, so that doesn't really apply to us. But our main concern is like when people are signing up, and so I actually just had a ticket in, and I just got the answer back a little bit ago. We were doing like a custom like form action URL on the sign up one, but they told us that it's like hard coded in and that one can't be modified in the advanced settings. But essentially what we were doing is like sending it to a widget. The widget would do like a email validation check, and if it came back as good, it would like go through to the BD system. If it failed, we were going to have it just like not even enter into the BD system and go to a webhook, so we had like a log of it. So I mean, that might be something good that you could build in, and then you could always give people, let them plug in their own API key to do that checking, so it's not using all your credits and stuff.
Right. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's a good suggestion. Thank you. I am familiar with those tools, so they'll check it on the fly in the email when someone is inputting it into the email field.
Yeah, because we did it like in the contact us form and some other ones, and we were doing that custom like form action thing, but I guess for like new accounts, you can't modify it.
Right. So for new accounts, if it's an invalid email, sometimes they do need to verify their email, and there's a message in their dashboard that says, you need to verify your email in order to activate your account. So that doesn't solve the exact problem that you're referring to, but it is one method to ensure that people are putting a valid email when they're signing up.
Yeah, so and just in one more like related thing to that, because if it's like an invalid, it is kind of a pain when they sign up that to have to like delete it or whatever it is, because those can be more like spam related and so forth. So that's what we were trying to accomplish. But along the lines of what you talked about, the verification email, I had this down as something to ask you about too. So people can sign up with like a legit email and they click the verification link and they get through. But then when they go into their account, they can edit and change the email to something else. In that, is there any way you guys can build in like a new verification thing for that change? Because they could switch it to something else that they can't actually verify, and then that's like the main email on their account, if you know what I mean.
I do. One thing you could do, again, it's not a silver bullet, but you could set that email field in there where the member can change it right now to be a read-only field. So but it doesn't allow them to change it if they made an error the first time. So it's not exactly a silver bullet, but that is one thing you could do is disable it from allowing them to change it after they've inputted it.
Okay, no, that's really good too. And then
let me show you where that is actually.
Okay, so I was gonna say I have one more email thing I was gonna kind of wait until the end to ask, but it is semi-applicable to this right now. But I know I've been talking a little bit here.
Yeah, maybe let's save it for the Q&A though, but let me find this read-only form field. Let's see if the chat bot can find it. I'll put it in the chat there if it gives us the correct answer, Brad.
Oh, that was another thing. Is there any way you can give us the option to disable the chat bot? Because as nice as it is, it always kind of pops up and it's like going over top of stuff, and I'm always like minimizing it all the time.
Fair enough. Let me, it should remember your choice to minimize it. So we'll look into that. So yeah, I feel you on that. I actually feel that same way. Chat by, minimize, remember. Okay, thank you, Brad. But to your point, let me see if there's an in-depth. Yeah, we talk about the read-only field in this article. I'm just going to share it with you here in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Good stuff there, Brad. All right, let's see if we can get one more question in here. Anyone's got their hand up? Sal's got his hand up. We'll take you, Sal. Sal, haven't seen you in the webinars for a while?
Yeah, been flat out businesses.
Okay, good to see you.
Yeah, look, we still have, the biggest problem we have is SEO agencies, because our directory has got such a high, at the moment it's about a MOS 60, such a high authority that a lot of SEO agencies from all over the world are actually doing, and we're getting up to 100 new people a day. In one sense, it's good because we know that these people have employed SEO people because they want to grow their business and that. But the terrible thing for us is that we want to, they put in a Gmail account that they may only use for verification, and then that's it, it's finished. So it goes in with a Gmail account, and then they verify it with that Gmail account, and then that's it. And the client that they've put into our directory has no idea that they are in the directory. They
Totally right. I'm with you, Sal. Totally understand. And this is exactly why we're creating the tip of the week that we're going to have, the block traffic by country, as well as these 3 tools here, block disposable email addresses. You can include, and it's very common to block Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, Outlook. A lot of free email services people are going to include in that because they want people to sign up with their business email. I've noticed around the internet sometimes when I'm filling out a form, it says, please use your business email. I try using my Gmail one and they're tired of the spam. So they just really insist on forcing it to be the business email. And basically that means not like a Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, and things like that. So to combat that, again, there's never going to be a silver bullet, and that's why we're always trying to do as much as we can to help mitigate the unwanted signups and traffic. These tools are really going to help you, especially the being able to search member IPs by country. Even though there's going to be VPNs which allow people to circumvent the physical country they're visiting your site from, where it shows that they're using like a USA IP using the VPN and things like that. But these tools are going to give you a little bit more of an upper hand to moderate and combat some of those things. So I certainly hear you out there, Sal, and that's kind of why we're moving forward with these simple updates that are really going to empower the website owners. So we're excited about that. We'll take one more question here just because I see Ronnie's hand up here.
Hi there. I just wanted to attest to the problem. We had a huge problem with people that aren't even in our niches going in and trying to do listings for the same thing, SEO companies and we would call some of the companies and they go, whoa, we didn't even know we were there. So we put a $1 verification charge on there. It stopped it immediately.
Thank you for sharing that. That's amazing, Ronnie. Yeah, it's nice to have free signups because it encourages and makes it easy and makes it frictionless. But if you're noticing, and if you go on Fiverr.com, there's just companies out there that say, I will list your company on thousands of websites. They're just making lists of websites out there that allow you to make free profiles. So if you're noticing that trend on your site, moderating listings is useful. A $1 charge, again, it adds a bit of friction, but it helps you maintain the authenticity of the signups. And then again, these tools that we're putting in place here are going to definitely help you guys out. And I think that's a perfect segue, David. We can move on to the tip of the week. The new add-on is released. Again, if you have the VIP add-ons club, you automatically have this available on your site. It's the ability to block traffic by country. And David, if it's okay with you, I'll pass it over. You can tell us a bit more about the benefits and how this new add-on works.
Yeah, this is a feature that's been discussed by quite a few users for really one specific use case, but it does have several features and benefits that we'll run through real quick. And then we'll also show you a quick demo of how it actually works in practice. So going over the key features and benefits here, you can use it one of 2 ways. You can block traffic from specific countries, so you can specify individual countries that you don't want to allow visitors from to access your website, or you can allow traffic only from specific countries. So you can make it work one of 2 ways. Also, the way website visitor locations are determined is by their IP address. So, VPNs have become a little bit more popular lately. Most people still aren't using them, so it is still relatively reliable to determine a visitor's location by their IP address. But just something to keep in mind that it's not 100% foolproof in case someone might happen to use a VPN to show their location as being somewhere they're not. But with this add-on, it could also improve security by denying access from specific high-risk countries, and in that same vein, reduce spam by blocking traffic from countries known for spam. Really, you don't want to kind of block as many countries as possible, but if on your website you're noticing spam or some nefarious activity from users in specific countries, then at that point, you might want to utilize the tool within this add-on here and block traffic from that specific country. In doing so, if you happen to notice, a lot of spam signups from a specific country that you're not necessarily targeting, then blocking all traffic from that country can, in some cases, end up saving website resources such as bandwidth, storage, your member limit, things like that. And this add-on is pretty simple. There's only a few settings, really just one setting. You could disable it, or like I mentioned, there's two ways to use it. You can only allow traffic from specific countries, and then you can select the specific countries that you want to allow access to your website from, or you can block traffic from specific countries. So if you happen to notice a lot of spam coming from one country in particular, you can block all traffic from that country. And this does totally block access to your website from visitors of those specific countries that you've specified. You can see here in this screenshot, if somebody's trying to access your website from a country that you have blacklisted, they'll be presented with this forbidden 403 error. So they won't be able to access any aspect of your website at all. You really do want to use this add-on sparingly if you are going to be using it. One thing you do want to keep in mind is that even if you are targeting a single country, say for example, you have a Canadian website, you only care about visitors from Canada coming to your website. So you might be thinking, well, I'll just block all traffic from visitors who aren't located in Canada. You might have legitimate Canadians trying to access your website who might be traveling at the time, might be out of the country. Maybe they live part-time in the US, or maybe they work in the US, so they're going back and forth over the border. And in that case, they might be trying to access your website from a non-Canadian IP address, and they'll be wrongfully blocked from accessing your website in that case. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Also, if you happen to work with a team of people, or maybe a developer located in another country, you want to make sure that the country that your team members or anybody else you're working with is not on your block list. Otherwise, they won't be able to access the website. Search engines, Google, Bing, a lot of other online tools that crawl your website, they might crawl your website from IP addresses that might be in countries that you have on your block list. If, say, for example, you have an Australian website and you block all traffic from websites other than Australia, if Google has some servers in the US that are trying to crawl and scrape your website, then you might be blocking access to your website from Google. And of course, you can always block and unblock countries temporarily as needed. So if out of the blue, you start to notice an influx in spam from a specific country, and you're not targeting any users in that country, it's far away, maybe at that point, you want to place that country on your block list, and then remove that country again in a week or maybe a month. See if that spam persists. If it does, you can leave the country on your block list. If not, there's no harm in removing it from your block list. Again, even if you're not necessarily targeting users in that specific country. So really the most practical use case here with this add-on is to block countries that are delivering spam to your website, or you're seeing some other nefarious activity from. When that spam stops, then at that point, you might want to revisit your block list and remove those countries. Make sure that the spam no longer persists. And if it's not, you can leave that country off the block list. But there's a lot of caveats you do want to consider. But really, if you're noticing a lot of spam from a specific country, that's the primary use case for this add-on.
Yeah, and I like the second to last point here. You can always block and unblock countries based on the unwanted traffic or sign up that you're getting, and when you can identify that the trend is coming from IP addresses of a certain country. And then after a period of time, you can unblock it. Same as if you're working with team and staff members. Maybe you're working with a developer for a month who may be in a country that generally you are blocking the traffic from. You can unblock that country maybe for the time that you're working with the developer or a staff member, and then block it again after that work is completed. But let's dive into this. Let's have some stuff. Let's block some countries from a website and see how this all works. So let's go into the admin area. The settings for this are going to be under your general settings. So we'll go to settings, general settings, and it's going to be under the localization tab. And this tab is where you set your website language, your time and date format. And when you have this add-on, you will see this new field here, block traffic by country. And what you'll have are 3 basic settings. It's going to start blank and disabled just like this. Disable setting. So if you select only allow traffic from, and I did United States, that means only people visiting my site from United States IP addresses can view my site. My website to the rest of the world will appear disabled, turned off. They're not going to use any bandwidth, any resources. The site doesn't exist to any other countries besides the United States of America in this case. So again, be careful with this setting unless you're 100% sure. Maybe you don't care about SEO in Google and Bing. There's lots of private membership networks out there who are local. They don't care about search engine optimization and things like that. And they'll be perfectly fine with just keeping their website contained within 1 or 2 countries. And this setting would be for you. But again, use with caution. The next setting would be block traffic from. So this will allow traffic from all countries except the ones that you have listed. So in this example, what we're going to do is there's a tool called GeoPeeker, basically pings your site from multiple locations around the world and it shows you the status. Sometimes it says it can't render the site. The tool is 80% reliable, but let's just click go before we block any countries. Virginia here got a render unavailable. That doesn't mean the site's offline. It's just the tool couldn't fetch it in this instance. So we can see here Brazil, Ireland, Australia, and Singapore. They've all been able to render. Let's block Singapore and Brazil just because they're the 2 options here from this tool. So we'll type in Singapore and Brazil, and we'll save the changes. So if we run this tool again, GeoPeeker, it should show that forbidden error. Let's run this one more time, that the site simply doesn't exist. So Ireland's good to go, Australia. So here we could see the forbidden area, Australia, Ireland. Don't know why these ones are having an issue. It's just a tool here. But if we click on Brazil here, the web page is saying you don't have permission to access this resource. This basically usually means that the website is offline for those people who are visiting. And again, the benefit of this, it uses absolutely 0 bandwidth or resources of your site. The visitor is instantly being blocked and rejected. Same thing with Singapore here. It says you don't have permission to access the site. So let's do the inverse now. Let's switch from block traffic from and only allow traffic from. And we can see here Ireland and Australia were able to access it. So let's do the inverse now, and we'll save the changes. And we'll run the GeoPeeker one more time. So in this case, only traffic from Singapore and Brazil are going to be allowed. And we can see Ireland is showing the forbidden error now. Australia the same, and we can see Brazil. There we go. So Singapore and Brazil were able to load successfully here. And then we can disable the setting. You can always disable it. So if you have a set of countries saved, again, maybe you're temporarily using this tool and you have a nice list of your good countries, your bad countries, whatever you want to call them, target countries or non-target countries. So if we disable this setting, disabling the setting basically turns off the add-on, even if you have some saved countries here. And of course, if you want to remove countries, you can just X them out, or you can add countries as needed. So that basically is the add-on. If you're seeing unwanted signups on your site, especially if you're regionally specific, you could just go ahead and block certain countries that you think are bringing you unwanted traffic. And with that, we can move on to the questions and answers. This is a great time to raise your hand. If you have a comment about something we talked about, if you need some help on your website, we can help you troubleshoot some issues, and we can help you move forward with your project. So feel free to raise your hand, and let's see who we can help out here. Let's see, Roger's got his hand up here. How's it going? Where are you calling in from?
Hi, I'm from Wisconsin. I was on your last call too, and you were very helpful with 2 or 3 things. I'm still trying to get some launched here, and in fact, I purchased a couple more since then because I keep wanting to add more sites, but I still got to get the other ones up and running. I had built a custom form, and then when I went to test it, when I made a small one, it worked just fine. But then when I made a full-size one, as soon as I went to fill it out to test it, it pops up it says a connection error occurred while saving. Please try to save again. And I can't get that to go away and to.
Can we take a look at your site real quick?
Yeah,
All right.
okay.
Let's visit this together and see if we can help you troubleshoot that. Okay, I think I know what the issue may be, so hopefully we can address it quickly for you.
Well, I thought possibly it's because it's not live yet, but I don't know.
Sure. So this is an information request form. This is a public form that people can fill out. Okay, great. Let's go to your form manager, toolbox, form manager, and the info request. And did you clone a form to create this, or did you
I started with a basic contact form.
Started with a basic contact form. Okay, that's basically what I wanted to check out here. I think what the issue may be is in the edit form settings. Let me just quickly check. You may have, my assuming it may have fussed around with some of the developer settings. Let me just quickly launch a new form. We'll call it test form. And we're gonna want, and we'll do the 2-minute test here on the webinar because I don't want to take up too much time, but we're gonna have it match the same things here. So this is our test form. So I'm going to make sure that we're matching the same form control, and we'll just keep scrolling down. Here we go. Looks like you're missing the save action URL. So again, this is why it's called the developer tab. I'm just going to paste this into your field here, and let's keep moving down. The ID is fine. And you're saving to users data. What you're going to want to do is save to the, like this one, the website context, because it's not creating a member, it's a public form. So we just want it to do it like that. Yeah, and then everything else should be fine. So website context, ID, post. All right, let's save this form. This is your information request form, and we'll give it a shot together.
Okay.
Let's just hard refresh the page. I'll just put Jason H and address 123 Maple Lane. Okay, and the city, put Los Angeles, California 90018. We'll choose a few of these here. And it did not ask for an email address. Oh, here it is. I would make this a required field.
Oh, yes.
Events at brilliantdirectories.com. You might want to move that up since it could get overlooked, sure. But let's just save it and see if it processes. Required state code required. Okay, we do have a state code here. It might be state code field required. Let's see what you have here for state code. Oh, there's a hidden field that's required, so that's why so let's remove this field, or not make it required, because it's a hidden field that no one's ever going to be able to see it to fill it out. So let's try this one more time here. We'll just do a lot quicker here. Jason, and we'll do 1, 2, 3. We'll just do LA, California, and we'll choose a couple of these and put the email jj@jj.com. Let's see if we can submit now. Thank you. There you go. So now,
just like that.
Yeah, what you might want to send them to a thank you page, or replace the form with a message. Those are some other options. But what happens now is, because it's a public form on your site, just like the contact us form, this is a great way to like have applications, or if you're doing contests on your site and you want to capture email addresses. What the nice thing about this is, it should be in your forms inbox now. Here it is as an information request. I would use the email, the same email form field system name, so it stores it here like these ones. But if we look at the view full inquiry, it'll show you what I entered: first name, Jason, address, city, postal code, the things I check marked. So all your answers are going to be here. I guess I didn't fill out the email when I did this last. I did jj@jj.com, but yeah. I would check your form fields, make sure that they have good system names. I would use the same email system name so it stores it here properly, because that's kind of how it does it. And then what's nice is, let me show you one more trick. You can filter your forms by the type of the form, like that was the information request form, and you can create a smart list. So you can have information request. So now you have all the emails of the people who filled out your information request form in one smart list. And with that smart list, you can send newsletters to them, or send an email to them in bulk. You can export them and all that good stuff. So it'll help you keep things nice and segmented with the smart list.
Super. Well, that was excellent. Thank you. And one other quick question: is there? I'm trying to do the sign up where they pick the product or the service that they're going to be signing up for, and I've been playing around with that page, and I'm trying to figure out, do you have an editor for duplicating the items that are in there? You had samples, 3 samples on the page, and I was able to just quickly use those 3 to do some pricing. By the chamber that I'm doing this for, it has like 7 different options for pricing. So I wanted to duplicate those. And so I was trying to do it from the code side, grabbing the code and pasting it down to get another one. But is there a shortcut to that?
So you're referring to the pricing plans when someone is joining the site?
If you go look at it, if you go look at it, you'll see what I have so far.
Okay. Yeah, if you're gonna have, so you have these here.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're looking to add more, you're saying?
Right, and I was trying to figure out how to do that from the code side.
Sure.
I didn't know if there was a shortcut for that.
There is a shortcut for that. I'm not gonna do it on your page, but I'm gonna show you one of the pre-made elements here on the sidebar. If we scroll to the bottom, is one of the membership plans, and it's the same format.
There you go.
It's the same format as these other ones.
That was it.
So you could just keep dragging these in here.
I did not see that before. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Good stuff.
That was it. Thanks so much.
Right. Yeah, appreciate the questions. Good stuff there, Roger. Busy working on his site. All right, we see some other hands up here. Let me see. We got Teresa. Where are you calling in from, Teresa?
Hi, Jason. I'm in Conshohocken, Pennsylvania.
All right. Thank you for joining the webinar.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. So I have a website, onecaribbean.com, and in the footer, I would like to add my community sponsors logos. We'd click through to their websites, but I'm not sure how to do that.
Okay, let's take a look at your site. You got some ads popping up here. So here's the footer area. Approximately how many logos do you think you're going to be adding here? Is it like 3 or like 20?
No. 8 to, if I can have 8 or 10 as the max.
Okay, and you want them listed horizontally?
Yes. No, I would rather have them like in one section with a heading that says community sponsors.
Okay, and do you want them to be like small like this text is, or do you want them to be big logos?
It can be bigger logos. Like if you,
because I can show you what I can do is I see you have a logo here. How about I add your logo down there, and then you can duplicate it and then just replace it for the other logos that you're going to add.
Perfect.
Okay, let me just add yours. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and get the image URL link. The image URL is your logo link, just that.
Okay.
I'll go back here. Let's go to your footer menu. So we'll go to Toolbox Menu Manager. This is going to require just a small bit of HTML for the images that we're going to put in there, but I'll try to make it as easy as possible for you.
Yeah.
So,
when you say HTML, I'm thinking Greek.
I understand. I'll try to make it as simple as possible for you. So let me scroll down here. We have your terms, and let me just check this. What's going on here? Okay, let me, give me one moment. Let me think of the best way to do, because there's a few ways to accomplish this. So we could, you said 8 to 10 logos you're gonna have down there?
Yeah.
Okay, let me clone this one for a moment. Okay, and let me clone one more time here. Okay, and is it just gonna be the logo image?
Yes, it's gonna be a logo, and then I'm gonna add the URL. Later.
Okay, I'm gonna do this so you can do 6 of them in a row nicely.
Okay.
Would that be okay? So just give me a moment here. Oops, I want the image URL. So you get the logo, you get the file name for the logo. I'll show you how to get that from your media manager as well, because you're gonna upload the logos to your media manager. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a link. So there's two things happening here. Okay, and that is basically it, but you're going to want to open it in a new tab. And again, I'd hate to have to put the HTML in. So what's happening here, and I'm going to break it down. I'm going to put a new line. And what we're doing is we're opening a link. This is an A tag is a link, and we're saying go to the website onecaribbean.com. Target blank means open it in a new window, because if they're on your footer on your website, you don't want to take them away from your website. You want it to open in a new window.
Perfect.
Generally. And then over here is the image and the SRC. This is the SRC equals with the quotes. This is the file name for the image. So let's go to your media manager real quick, and I'll show you. You're going to upload these logos to your site, so they're hosted on your site. And when you add a logo to your site, you can right click here on any one of these images and hit copy URL, and you'll get the URL. This is what you want to copy, and then that's what we're putting inside of the SRC, inside the quotes. So this is the image, and this is where the website link, and then we close the A tag. The A tag closes here. Again, I don't want to give you confusing HTML, but this is the best way to do it. Now let me save this real quick, and let's see what it looks like. I'm going to show you if I can make this just easy for you to just keep cloning that one, but changing the link and the image. So if we come here, we could see that down here, it says One Caribbean now. That's what we added. And if I click it, it's going to open in a new tab here. So if we come back here and look for it, which is this one, and I separated it nicely for you just so you can have some space. If we clone this one, we'll click yes. So now there's two of them, and again, you can drag this, open it, right? This helps you a lot. Right. Then if you get another sponsor, just change the link to their website and change the image URL here. So I'll save this now, and we should have two of your logos in the footer here. Let's just save it real quick. So now we have two logos here. So this will allow for 6 to be evenly distributed across the bottom of your footer, and they will all be the same width. So should I keep these like this, or would you like me to remove them?
No. If you can go back there, Jason.
Yes.
You can move that row right under the menu bar, right there, right above the.
Okay, I think, yeah, there's just an extra space here. Let me check. Okay. Yeah, we can remove this one. This is just an extra empty one. Let's see if that does it for you. Let me just save this. And I think that should be clean enough for you to work on that. Let me see what's creating this extra space here for you. One moment. Yes, we can remove that as well. So let's remove this empty one here, and you should be okay with the spacing after that.
Okay, so how can I bring that the logos to the top so they appear first before the one? Yeah. No.
So, right, so we can move them to the top. That's actually makes it easier for you, actually. Let's do this. Okay, just drag them to the top here.
Okay, good, okay.
And let me grab the other one. What we want to do, though, is I'm going to add a menu item that is a separator, so it separates it from the rest of the menu. So I'm going to add a menu item here. Leave this blank on purpose. I'm just going to do something here. Clear, fix, clear. Okay, so let me refresh now for you, and then we'll see if this is in a good place. We can leave it the way it is. Just a moment.
That is perfect. I'm going to go back there and play with it and add another space and add a text that says okay.
Let me just add one more space for you here. So so it's not exactly touching the titles here. It's a little better spaced here for you. Give it a little breathing room there. Okay. So just you can just repeat these 6 times then, these ones, or 4 more times. Yeah. Okay.
That's perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good luck on your site. Looks great. All right. Good question there. All right. Let me grab you here, Brad. All right, Brad.
Hey, Jason. First of all, your guys' support is like awesome. Like, we send in a lot of tickets. You guys help us out so much. So thank you for making that an important part of your business. It's awesome. So
thank you.
So the question I was talking about earlier, and this is kind of one of the last major problems I think we have to solve, famous last words, of course. But so when somebody signs up, we have them going into our external email program. We use ActiveCampaign. So also kudos on all the API stuff you've been doing. It's been helping us out a lot. So the main issue, though, is kind of what I was talking about earlier, is we send it over to our email program, but then when a user changes their email inside of Brilliant Directories, we can catch the webhook, but it only shows like what the current email address is. And so we have no way to know if that was changed or if it's the same as before, and vice versa. So I know in your activity log, okay.
I know you need to pass the user ID to the active campaign as well. I'm spitballing here. You are. So what we need to do is somehow the unique identifier for the member, the thing that is normally it's the email address, but if they're changing it, the user ID is something they definitely can't change in the system.
Yeah.
So if we notice that the user IDs, the BD user ID and the active campaign user ID, whatever custom field you created for that, if the emails don't match, to update the active campaign email with that would be the workflow in my mind that I'm envisioning.
Yeah. So granted, this is more of our problem as opposed, because you did provide a great solution. We're using the same email program for multiple directories, so user IDs can be shared amongst them. So just I know in your activity log, it does actually show old email and new email. So I was going to say if anyhow the webhook could get updated to show like the old and new, like the activity log, you're already doing it, that'd be great. Otherwise, the only workaround that I really have is to all new members sign up, send them to like a spreadsheet, and then kind of like look it up and cross-reference. And then if it's changed in our external spreadsheet, then kind of send it off to update.
I have an alternate method for you.
Okay.
I mean, there's more than one ways to skin a cat here, but yeah. I'm just spitballing here, and it sounds like you guys are pretty versed in kind of controlling the data a bit. What you may want to do is have two email fields. One is the one on their BD site, and like the original email they signed up with, and store that as like a value called original email.
Love it.
And you see where I'm going with this. So, and that one they can't change in their contact details form or anything like that. It's a hidden field.
Okay.
And somehow use that to update the active campaign, because that'll stay static. That won't change. So they'll always have an original email. You can use jQuery to copy over the sign up form and have like a hidden field that will pre-fill based on what they're putting in their email field. So that'll get saved with them, and you'll always have that as a static value that they'll never be able to change. And you've effectively created another unique identifier for your members.
Yeah. I mean, the only issue that comes up, I think, is if they change it more than once, but I think we could build it into our logic to change that original email field over there, but I'll play around with it. That gave me some good ideas, but yeah, the activity tracker does exactly what we would need anyway. So if that could somehow be rolled out in a future update, that would help immensely. So
okay, that's a fair suggestion. If the data is there, maybe we could find a way to pass it in the webhook as well.
Yep. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Brad. Thank you. All right, good stuff. They're high level, using an active campaign to manage email campaigns. We see that quite often, which is great. Let's see, Ronnie's got his hand up. You with us still there, Ronnie?
Yeah, is it okay to ask more than, I just need 3 quick questions if it's okay.
But we'll do our best. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So I've suggested this before, but we build a lot of web pages, and it would be really nice if you guys had a back end where we could categorize those web pages that we build. So, right now I think we've built hundreds of pages onto our website, but it's starting to get a little clunky back there in the back end. So just wanted to suggest that again. Another thing is we put a lot of videos on our website, and that's one of the perks of our website is the training. We were wondering if we could also find a way to host those videos. We host them from YouTube, but people go, I can't remember if I watched this one or if you updated it. So some way to, say you've already watched this video. And then the last thing is with the SEO templates for the webpage.
Well, let's go back to the other one, the video thing you just mentioned. So, so is it a member or a visitor watching the video?
Member.
So a member visits a static page that has a video on it, and you want to kind of store that they've visited that page in the past, even if it's like a video, or is that what it is?
Or that they've actually watched the video. That's what they're looking for, is did I watch this one already?
Gotcha. Okay, I understand. Okay, and what's the right? And what's the third question?
So you have the SEO templates that are available for us that uses dynamic text that pulls from the website, but we're not able to do that with static pages, and that would be really wonderful if we were able to use that that static text. Like when I built a separate site that looks exactly like our site with Wix, and I can upload a spreadsheet with all the words that I need to change. And you guys have that ability when it comes to, and it's the same thing that Yelp does. Like on your static pages, you give us your SEO templates. That's dynamic text when it says, you know, the category and are you looking for this, and it can mix and match them. But we can't do that on a static page, and it would be really nice if we could use those, call those SEO text up when we need them on a static page as well.
Okay, are these phrases or blocks or just text?
Well, it would be just the text. So like if you were to go to the SEO templates, look at it like that, just any of the SEO templates, you'll see like you can put in like the, you know, the percent sign, professional _ name, %, and it'll call that profession up.
Okay, let me try something with you to address that one. Let me, I'm with you. So you want it to be dynamic, and then how does it know what the variable value is going to be on?
Well, it's going to be based on the site. So like city name, profession name, that sort of thing. Those are right. Those are pretty dynamic, and they're built into the system, right?
So what's right? I'm with you. I want to help you out. I think I have a solution for you. So like, what's a variable that you'd want to create just arbitrarily, something that you want to reuse over and over again?
Okay, like are you looking for a plumber in, you know, Phoenix, Arizona? You know, just like the SEO templates, but being able to use a phrase like that and it say, are you looking for a plumber, or are you looking for a, you know, a notary, or are you looking for, you know, whatever you're looking for, and be able to use that in the title and the subtitle and the SEO settings itself.
Okay, so I want to help you out with this. So where would like plumber be on the page? Would it be in the URL?
It really should be in the SEO settings to start, and pretty much anywhere we needed to like plug it in. So it would be like
the word plumber would be the variable. You're suggesting.
The word plumber would be the variable, and the city would be a variable.
Okay, and then would the city update on the fly based on the static page you've created?
It would work just like the SEO templates that you guys have, but the thing is we can't create any more. It doesn't allow us to. Like I think we get like 47 or 50 of them, and I want to be able to create static pages that can do that same thing, because sometimes I think out of the box or the back door in search engines.
Okay, I don't think I'm 100% I'm with you, but let me see. Like if you created a widget called plumber, and the value in it was plumber, you called it plumber text, right? And then I'm just going to try something. I don't know if this is what you're after, and if we copied the widget code here, and we'll just create a page called plumbers, and I just want to put the widget up here and see if it adds it. Now we have created almost like a text label. Let's view the page and see if it shows the, so it's showing the word plumber here. So we've created a widget that says plumber text, and it's just the text value for plumber. Is that what we're trying for? And now I can put this widget anywhere. I could put it in the SEO settings, the title, description, keyword.
Can it be used in the URL as well?
The word plumber? I don't know. I've never tried a widget in the URL there. Let's see. No, wrong structure. No, it doesn't look like that.
I can still work. That's exactly what I was looking for. And
okay.
Now I'm going to really beg for you to come up with a way to categorize the
Okay.
web page, because that's going to change. That's like SEO gold right there.
Right. I'm with you. The other thing I was going to say, because I've done it in the past. We used to run ads for, a lead gen website for the interior design industry, and we would run Google ads. We just created one landing page, but based on the get parameter, like it would be like question mark plumber, or like it would be like category, question mark category equals plumber, and city equals Beverly Hills. And it wouldn't be a static page for each one of these, but based on the URL parameter, it would fill in the details of the page. Are you familiar with that strategy as well? That method?
Not.
Okay.
No. The only thing, if you could just show, or if the biggest one is going to be the dynamic for like the city. Again, we can do it on the SEO templates, but is there a widget already named like city name? Because where would we find that? Or would I want to create one for every city name?
Right. So the city name needs to be defined. So if you're creating a static page, because a static page is just an empty web page, so it's not connected to search results. We need to give it context, and context is going to come from some kind of key. Generally, it's from the URL. And like a parameter is when you see, like it says city equals Los. The things we see, when you do a search, sometimes you see things like this. You can tell the system. I think you should ask this in the Facebook group. I'd love to answer you when we have more time and kind of show you this strategy, which will basically allow you to create one landing page template. And based on the get parameters, again, they're not static pages on their own, they're dynamic pages. You can then create pages like this. Or if you're going to create a format of URLs that are going to be like plumbers / Los Angeles, and this is your static page, we can use like jQuery or JavaScript, and it will pull the first slug of the URL and the second slug. And if you're using the same format for all the landing pages you're created, then you just need one template and it'll just pull from the URL. So you've basically cut your work into nothing. All you have to do is create the URL for a page, and now that page exists. And it's going to be the same content on every page, but you can have a section for custom content. But basically, you can create more dynamic pages in that fashion a lot quicker.
That's what we want to be able to do.
All right, ask it in the Facebook group. I'd love to kind of show you. This is something I wanted to cover. It's more higher level. It's for people that are doing like a lot of SEO, targeting a lot of categories in a lot of cities and things like that, and they need dedicated pages and certain types of templates. Because what you're saying is I don't want to drag this out because I know we have a lot of people on the webinar here, but it is exciting. So like, we have city pages for Los Angeles. You're not even doing the search results pages. You're just creating static pages for these cities.
If we could, I know we got a lot of people on the call, so I'll shut up after this sentence and I'm going to post it in the Facebook group. Like I can show you what I've done. Like Wix, we just upload a spreadsheet with all the dynamic changes that we want, which is I went to the US Postal System and just downloaded everything, and then only focused on populations of 10,000 or higher. That's what we want to be able to do, is create a dynamic URL and a dynamic page serving the city. And
if you upload members in those cities, the city pages are automatically created with BD. Did you know that?
Right. So we have two avenues. Those work really great. We want to be able to create static pages for what we sell to those members trying to get into the group, because the whole pull of our directory is what we offer to the members who are listing there.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to wrap my head around that. I definitely want to help, because I get excited about the stuff that you're talking about, and there's multiple ways to achieve it. It just depends, like kind of the route that someone's most comfortable with. But post it in the Facebook group, the use case that you're trying to develop, and maybe I could provide some more tips for you there. We'll make sure you get accepted in there if you just applied as well.
I just applied, so thank you for that. Thank you for that. I'll post it in there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can tell I like nerding out about this stuff. So, and we're quite good at it. So, hopefully you can post it and we'll give you some tips for that. All right, we got our good friend Martin here. Thanks for bearing with us here, guys. Martin, you with us there, Martin, still?
Hi, Jason. Can you help me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How you doing today?
Hi. First of all, I just want to say, huge fan of the whole platform. the company and the support team. Great, shout out to those guys because they've been absolutely brilliant. I've got basically a request. For me, this is quite an important one. It's in two parts really. There's a kind of a simple solution and perhaps a more in-depth one. BD's got a great invoicing system. I haven't quite launched my site yet, so I'm just trying to get into this at the moment. But most of us run full-on businesses, and so therefore running alongside that we have an account system like Quickbooks or Xero, and running that proper account system, we could really do with some integration between the BD invoicing system and something you say like QuickBooks. So the simple solution would be if we could have a webhook or a Zap. I don't think the one exists at the moment. So when a new invoice is created in BD, it creates an invoice over in QuickBooks or Xero. And the more in-depth solution would be to have perhaps a fuller integration. I run a CRM system called Capsule CRM, which obviously they've discussed with Intuit, and they're running a full kind of integration, so you can look inside QuickBooks from the CRM. But as it stands, it looks like I'm going to have to double input all my invoices if I was using the BD system into the QuickBooks system, which seems a lot of work.
I hear you. Let me check a couple things for you. Thank you for bringing that up. And because you mentioned webhooks, so I'm already assuming you're familiar with that.
Yeah.
Let me see here. The paid signups, this only is when there's a new paid signup. It's not for each paid invoice. So let me.
Yeah, that's what I want. It's more the account system really.
Transaction smart list. Okay. I'm wondering what this one is. I have to research this for you. Transaction smart list. I'm trying to think out loud. Let's go to the transaction history here. There's no transactions on this site, but I just want to check a few things. There's payments received, past due, and refunded. Those are the three categories of invoices that would really need to be passed to one of those platforms. Let me chat with the team. I don't have an exact answer for you on that just yet, but
I think it would be a very popular solution if you could find one.
I agree. Specifically the invoices, which include the customer or member, and the amount and the name of the product or item. And also the status of the invoice. So if it's paid, refunded, or pending, which would mean that it's past due or it's been created but it hasn't been paid yet. Okay. Again, I don't have
accounts information that is on the invoice, so we could create a matching invoice in QuickBooks, particularly.
I see that. You just said the magic criteria is ability to that it would be enough information to create a matching invoice.
Yeah.
With those,
and that would save having to double key the whole, all the information in.
Gotcha. Now, let me chat with the team. I can definitely see the usefulness of that if you're using a third party, like a QuickBooks or Xero and things like that. So thank you for mentioning that, Martin. All right, good stuff there. All right, thank you for that. Let's see if we have any more hands up here. I don't see any more hands up. All right, guys. Well, thank you for an amazing webinar. I think that's a great place to start, just a little bit over time. Thanks for bearing with us. Thank you for all the good questions. I appreciate it. It sounds like everyone is hard at work on their websites. The new add-on is released, Block Traffic by Country. We've added it to the VIP Add-ons Club package. So if you have that, the settings are available on your site. The next webinar will be in 2 weeks. We'll post a replay in the Facebook group. If you haven't joined yet, join us at brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook. And thank you to all our friends out there in YouTube land. We'll see you guys in the next 2 weeks. We'll see you for the next webinar. It's been a pleasure. This is our happy place. Have a great day and a brilliant week. Take care, guys.